There are children and families crippled by the inability to have life-saving surgeries. In Pakistan and other areas of the world, poverty can paint a grim picture. Yet, amidst the darkness, a glimmer of hope emerges. Transparent Hands. Transparent Hands is the largest crowdfunding platform offering free healthcare services to those who can't afford them, including crucial surgeries, amputations, and life-changing prosthetics. Today on the Good Viral podcast, we have the privilege of speaking with Ramiza, the driving force behind this incredible organization. Get ready to be inspired by her story as she shares the transformative impact Transparent Hands is having on countless lives. Dive into their groundbreaking work from providing free surgeries for children to empowering families and communities by restoring mobility and economic ability. Hear about their challenges, the triumphs they celebrate, and how you can contribute to this life-saving mission. Explore how Transparent Hands and Ramiza are rewriting the narrative of healthcare access and transforming lives one click at a time. Welcome to the Good Viral podcast, and welcome to the conversation.
So the first thing we want to ask you about is why does your organization exist, and why should our listeners care about what it is that you all are doing?
Transparent Hands was initiated in 2014, and that was my passion. And I got that inspiration actually from my mother, so who was working for the charity of the people, for the benefit of the people. And she was the one who actually was the founder of the first biggest hospital in Asia, which purely worked for the labor class, for the labor workers who were working in the factories and for their families and everything. By profession, she is a doctor. So I got all the inspiration from my mother actually. And I saw her working day and night for those people when I was a kid. So I was interested in the field of education, and then I joined that. And then eventually that, as I got all the inspiration from my mother and I wanted to do something for my country, for the poor people of my country, so Transparent Hands came into being. And Transparent Hands is existing because it is benefiting the people. It is benefiting those people who are underprivileged, who have no access to the quality health care, who are just suffering day and night because of the financial constraints. That is one thing. And the other thing is like due to the poor health. I started working on this project with my brothers who are basically who are the tech savvy people. So when I just started working on Transparent Hands, I had no idea about which kind of organization is it going to be, or how much initially we worked on the vision, we worked on the technology part, everything, but I did not know how far I could be able to take it. Unless and until I started, and I just jumped into that and I started working for the people. And when I started working for the people, I got more and more motivated. And that was how actually the whole process started. And then I just took it to the different countries also.
It's so cool to hear that your mother started something and you and your siblings are, in a sense, continuing the legacy. And I think that's really, really cool. And I think all of our audience members and Demi and myself can relate to the feeling of when you're doing something good, you just get motivated even more to do more in-depth help for people, animals, or the planet. And I think what your work is doing absolutely amazing. And I did some quick kind of digging a bit into Pakistan, just a little bit. And I knew Pakistan had a high population, but I wasn't sure how many people were in Pakistan. And so today I did a quick little Google research, and the most recent number I found was that Pakistan is just north of 233 million people. And, Pakistan has been kind of in the news lately with natural disasters, with the floodings and things like that. And so I think what you guys are doing is probably helping a lot in the recent events that's been going on over there in Pakistan. I imagine. Could you comment a little bit on the recent events with all the flooding and displacement, and how you guys have been helping with that?
Yeah, but before that, like before I would jump onto this specific topic, the flood camps,
Uh-huh,
the flood
uh-huh,
relief
uh-huh,
camps, and our efforts for the flood effectees, I would
uh-huh,
like to just throw some light on the statistics. So in Pakistan, actually, the population is like, as you said, it's more than 200 million people, but there are very few local hospitals. So what
uh,
happens is like, so one bed is like for 16 1600 people, so one bed, and
uh,
that's the ratio, 1 is to 1600. So that's the ratio. So
wow,
when people they go to the local hospitals, so
uh,
they have to wait for years in order to get the surgery done. So that was why actually we jumped into this thing. We
uh,
just started only with initially only with the surgeries, because surgeries is a thing which the common person cannot afford.
uh,
And even the middle class person, even he is unable to afford costly surgery like the cardiac surgery and all that. So that was why I actually
uh,
jumped into this thing. So
uh,
that's the statistics. uh, that's what is actually going on in Pakistan, and there is no like national health insurance, and
uh,
very limited amount of the total GDP is being spent on the healthcare sector. So that
uh,
is why the organizations like us, they they take these kind of initiatives.
uh,
Flood effects, yes, the flood was a disaster that came in August 22. So a lot of people, they were homeless, they were left homeless, they did not have any food, anything to eat, and they were just on on the streets. They did not have
uh,
any choice. So we actually set up a lot of free medical camps for those people. And in
uh,
those free medical camps, free medicines were provided to these people. A team of the doctors, they went over there. Uh, and then we provided free medicines, and free tests were conducted over there, like the typhoid test, uric acid, CBCs, in order to detect infection and everything. And then there was ultrasound facility also. The gynecologists were there too, and so that was the medical part. And on the other side, we also provided the food packs to those people. So around 100,000 people. So we, in the first session, or in the first in the first section actually, we conducted 55. We had 55 medical flood relief camps, and in those camps we helped more than 100,000 people.
wow,
Yeah, and we went to the so there are four provinces in Pakistan, but we actually went to the Punjab, South Punjab, and Punjab and South Punjab together, and then the KPK, and that is Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and the third was uh, the Sindh province. So we made three teams, and we had 100 volunteers. So they went simultaneously to these three regions and helped the affected people over there.
uh, uh,
Yeah, and so that was like in the summers. And then for the winter time, again, we set up the free medical camps for those three regions, because they did not have anything for the winters to protect themselves, actually, for the wind. For the wind, from the wind chill and all that. So we provided them the medicines. Again, the tests were conducted. The team of the doctors, they went over there, and then the winter stuff, the quilts and all that, the warm clothes, everything was provided to them, along with the pure drinking water, the filtered drinking water. So drinking water was also provided to them. So in this way, like last year, I think we did around 126 or these many camps in those affected areas, and a lot of people were saved. A lot of people were provided all of those facilities, especially the Sindh region, which is the most neglected region in our country. So we went inside. So there's an area, Dadu, and there are other areas also where there wasn't any facility of the car to go. So over there, actually, we took help, and we hired the boats. So our team, they went on the boats to those areas, and the doctors, they also went on the boats, and there they helped the people. So they
uh,
were stranded, and those people were stranded in just the islands, kind of islands, and all up and around them there was water. there was only water. So they were actually over there in those isolated places. So we reached those places where no one else reached, was able to reach actually, and there we helped the people.
Wow.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've got some questions because you brought up there's just so much work that you all are getting done, and it's really astonishing. Yeah, and what I'd like to understand more. First off, you mentioned that you were in other countries, and I didn't realize. So maybe if you could address that as well, but also just understand a little bit more about your organization. So I know that you all are using technology to crowdfund, and I know that there's a lot of things that are sort of available now for you might say for good organizations like yourself to be able to do that maybe didn't really exist. Some sort of new ideas that are being introduced, and it sounds like you all are certainly taking advantage of that. But can you speak about that sort of how you arrive at being able to help so many people, and then also again, and how you mentioned that you were expanding now into other countries and sort of what. So can you address some of those things for us so we can understand better?
Right now, we are not in the other countries. We are registered and we are just doing marketing activities and just fundraising activities in USA, in UK, and in the other countries also. So we are trying to, like in the other underdeveloped countries. So we are going to take the same platform over there, and over there we are going to work in the health sector. So that's what we are aiming for, right?
Okay.
So in Pakistan, what we are doing, if I just give you a summary or just give you a brief introduction of what Transparent Hands do, is like we conduct free surgeries and treatments of the poor people all across Pakistan in the 3 provinces, as I told you. So, and we also set up free medical camps all across Pakistan in the rural areas. So in the rural areas, and then we have a team of the doctors who go to those rural areas, and they're like our whole team that actually goes over there, and we set up the sometimes 1 day and sometimes 2 days medical camp, and there the free medicines are provided to the people, and free tests are conducted over there, the blood tests, and then hepatitis B and C tests are also conducted over there. And from there, actually, we register the patients, and the patients who require further surgeries, then we are further registered with us, and their surgeries are conducted through us. So for the surgeries, actually, we have taken private hospitals on board, because as I told you, the local hospitals are not in abundance. The private hospitals are in abundance in our country, and they give us the package, the subsidized package for the surgery. So we have collaborated with 47 hospitals. There are 47 hospitals who are working with us right now in Pakistan. And we send our patients over there from the different regions, and their surgeries are conducted free of cost, and the treatments are done free of cost as well. And if I talk about the surgeries, so we have like we are into all kinds of surgeries, like cardiac surgeries, pediatric cardiac surgeries, orthopedic surgeries, then cochlear implant surgeries. That's a very costly one, and then it is really needed in our country. Then we have the gynae surgeries, we have the cancer patient surgeries, we have different kinds of general surgeries, C-sections, and then MRIs, CT scans. Everything is done free of cost, but we definitely verify a patient financially, and then there's a medical verification also. And this is how we take our patients, this is how actually we treat our patients, and then we after the surgeries actually, and after everything, we do not leave the patient over there. So he is discharged with the post-op medicines, and then the post-op visits are also included in that package. And our team also, that is constantly in touch with the patient, and they keep on taking the feedbacks of the patients. If the surgery is not successful and they require another surgery, so we also go for that surgery. So this is how we are actually expanding our network. We are limited. We are just, I think, conducting like this. If you talk about the surgeries, like 1,000 to 2,000 surgeries, not more than that. Very costly, but like treating a lot of, like in more than 50,000 patients or so in a year. In Pakistan, there's a deficit of like 10 million surgeries every year. So we are just trying to reach that number. We want us to be that big actually. So
Yes, of course. Of
yeah.
course.
And then on the other side, actually, so if we talk about the crowdfunding platform, that's what you asked
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
that. So now that if we do something that is only for Pakistan, but we also realize that the people who donate or the people who really want to sympathize with someone, they want to see like who is that person, what is his story, what is his history, and then if they donate, then what happens, what is going to be the impact of that amount or donation or of their contribution in whatever terms. So for that actually we just created this platform, the crowdfunding platform. It's not new in the Western world, but it is still a new thing in Pakistan. So even up till now in Pakistan, we are the only organization who have a crowdfunding platform in the healthcare sector. And so all the stories, all the patients, everyone is registered on the website. And after the surgery, their testimonials in the form of the videos, plus their hospital bills and everything is there on the website. That is visible only for the donor, but their success stories, their videos, everything is available for the general public to see like what happened after the surgery, after their treatment, or after setting up a medical camp. What happened, or how did we facilitate the people? How did we create an impact? So everything is there on the website for the entire world to see. So if we are, so they should all come and support us. They should all see like who is suffering, where are these people, what are their background, and like we are privileged. We have like everything. We if if we suffer, so we have the means to actually go to the hospital and to treat ourselves. But those people on one side, their healths, they are suffering on the health side, and on the other side they have the financial problems. So
Yes.
who are I think the major problems
Yes.
which
Yes.
we are trying to address.
Yeah.
And we are
Thank
trying
you.
to bring ease. We are the main motto or the main thing, the main slogan is to bring ease to those people in the lives of those people.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing. So I just want to give big kudos to you and the
Yes.
Japan,
Right.
to you and
Yeah.
your whole
Really.
team and everything that you're doing. Because you answered a lot of questions just in all of that. It was great. One was how are you finding some of the medical care providers? And I think you partially answered that because you're working with hospitals on the ground, and I'm sure because of your reputation and the connections you have with that, you're probably recruiting people who want to help as well. And I think that's just so great and wonderful. And so this kind of brought me to a thought because you're working with so many people and you see on your website how people are getting help and what happens after the fact. So people can really do kind of like that, the idea of checks and balances with a good cause that might be a concern for them, but also to find inspiration. So I'm kind of curious with you. You've done this for quite some time. You're, the founder and you're in charge. And so, you got a lot of things going on, but I'm sure there's a story, one or two maybe, that really sticks out for you where you were able to really help a community or a person or something happened where you just go, this is why I'm here. And that really inspired me to keep moving forward. Can you think of a story or an instance where you had that?
Yeah, so there are actually multiple stories. So,
Sure.
yeah, to begin with, actually, so whenever I think that is from like God's side or something, like whenever I got disheartened or whenever there were challenges and I was stuck, I thought that I should just stop doing all this because there are so many like hurdles in my way and everything. So there was, I think, a case which really inspired me. So there are one or two many significant, like those are the most significant cases actually. So there was like once there was a man who came to me and he had like 6 children and he resided in the village. So he came to me and his body was swollen and like I didn't know what to do. So he told me that like the doctor advised him surgery, the kidney surgery, because his kidney wasn't working and he had he had several stones in that kidney. I said, okay, you had several stones in that kidney and after the evaluation, we would definitely get your surgery done. But like, what happened to the other kidneys? You must have another kidney to function with, because he was unable to pass urine since last 6 days, so he was on the
Mm.
verge of dying, and he had a
Wow.
large family to support.
Uh-huh.
Kids were like this is so, they were too young. So
Uh-huh.
so on my inquiry, he just said that he sold one of his kidneys in order to just support his kids and in order to feed him to the landlord where he was working. So he was working on the lands, and in
Mm.
order to get money, he just sold one of his kidneys. And the
Wow.
other
Wow.
one, and the other one was like, other one had a lot of stones. So the
Mm.
surgery was like, it was the urgent surgery. It should be done on the same time uh, over there, and that was what, like, it really just brought tears into my eyes, and
Mm.
it really
Mm.
shook me that, like, we are so privileged, but those people, they are so unfortunate. And he was begging for the surgery, and he had such a large family. What would happen, like, to his family if we couldn't support him, if he couldn't done his surgery? And he said that he went to the several hospitals, but they were giving him a time of like 6 months, 5 months. So
Uh-huh.
what should he do? Yeah,
Mm.
so that was actually one case which really opened my eyes. And yeah, and then there was another case actually. That was of a little girl, and she was like, I think 3 or 4 years old. So they had this only daughter, and his father brought him to my office. So the little girl had her nails were blue, her lips were blue, everything. She had the
Mm.
congenital heart disease actually.
Uh-huh.
Mm.
She fell on the floor, like while she was walking, and while she entered into our office, so she actually fainted, and the father was so desperate that he burst into crying, and then he fell on the floor too. I mean,
Mm.
that was the sight which I just couldn't forget.
Uh-huh.
And I felt the helplessness of that person. I still feel that pain. So, and that was the time when I was thinking to just stop doing everything, because we did not have funds to conduct further surgeries, and there were a lot of patients coming to us. So that was one of the patient. I took that case. I requested the hospital that we would pay you after 40 days or so. We would certainly collect funds, but you just go ahead with the surgery and get it done. So
Mm.
they cooperated, they got the surgery done, and that girl, still I see that girl, and she is so lively, her lips turned pink, and we have the videos of that girl. So that
Mm.
was, I think, the biggest, I think that was such a big accomplishment, that we saved her at the right
Mm.
time, and that was the only child. She's the only child. So,
Wow.
yeah, so that's another story. And there was another one, and that was like very touching. That was very touching. They were actually husband and wife, both of them, they came to us for the surgery. So the husband had to go through the liver transplant. And the women, she had to go through the, not liver transplant, something wrong with the liver. So we had to do the surgery. And the wife was suffering. She had hernia or something else. So both of them actually, they required the surgery. So they were like, they did not have anything. But I still remember they were like full of love for each other, the husband said, and both were like, their surgeries should be done urgently. So the husband said that you should go ahead and to get the surgery of my wife done, and the wife said, no, you just go ahead and get the surgery of my husband done. I want to see
Mm. Mm.
his. And we did not have funds. We only had funds for one surgery at that time.
Mm. Mm.
But again, then that was a tough decision, and yeah, I took the decision. I just conducted both of these surgeries, and those were successful. Yeah,
Oh,
Mm.
I
wow.
just cannot forget that love for like each other.
Mm. Mm.
There are like so many cases. Every day we come across a different case every day. But those were some of the real touching cases actually.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Yeah. And there was another girl, a small girl. She was, I think, 3 months old. We got her surgery done. Her mother and her father, they came to us from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and she needed the cardiac surgery. So we got that surgery done. And right now, when I see, they send me her actually pictures and then videos also. Now she's 3 years old. She was 3 months old when we got the surgery done. So now she dances, she laughs, and that's like all these things, all these accomplishments actually make you motivated and make you move forward.
Mm.
Whenever you
Yeah,
lose hope, like these are the cases which just moved me.
yeah. These are all amazing stories. We 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 normally like to sort of know and understand sort of the effects that what the different causes that we are talking to that it has. But I imagine that in the case of you guys, because you're directly helping people with their health, and in many cases helping them survive, that there's got to be just amazing sort of after stories, like recovery stories, people, and some of these things maybe they share with you, of like you said, this girl's able to dance and do things. So is there anything that stands out for you that you could share with us about some of the success after the work has been done and the surgeries have been done, and how that has come back to just sort of a success story that you can share with people?
So actually, all of these eventually they became the success stories, which I shared with you.
Hmm, hmm.
So
Yes, of course.
yeah, and right now the success stories, I think the cardiac patients when they recover, that's great. And then the other surgery which we are conducting, which is like a very costly one, but still,
Hmm,
that is the
hmm.
cochlear implant surgery. So and that is done like before the age of 5 years. Otherwise,
Mm,
yeah, otherwise it's not that effective actually. So those are again the success stories when the children they come to us, they cannot hear, but after the surgery they start hearing and they start
mm,
listening to the voices, and
mm,
it is so overwhelming for the parents actually when they can, and especially after the speech therapy sessions, because only the cochlear implant surgery is useless if we do not go for the speech therapy sessions, because the
mm,
child when he starts listening, he or she is just like a newborn who
mm,
hasn't heard anything before.
mm,
So
mhm,
then they go with the speech therapy sessions and all that, and then afterwards, when they start listening to your voices and when they start responding, especially to the parents, so that is really overwhelming for the parents.
mm,
So these
mm.
are yeah, those cases are also very touching.
Real quickly, I saw something on your site that's really cool, is that you also work with, in a sense, ostracized people of these communities as well. People, I think one of them, which was in 2019, if I remember right, was a camp that was at least marketed towards helping people who were in the transgender community. And could you kind of expand a little bit more on helping ostracized communities and what you've witnessed with that?
Yeah, so far actually we have done a number of medical camps. Probably you have seen one, but then we did another medical camp and another medical camp, and then we conducted their surgeries also. The transgenders in our country, they are really neglected and they are looked down upon. So and now the government has given them a right to have a ID card. Even before that, I think that even that was not they did not have the right to have a ID card, the identity card. Yeah. So yeah, we thought that we should do something for them also, because they are in large number and they might be suffering, they have problems, and like they are on the roads, they are begging, no one is giving them the respect and no one is like taking care of them. So there's a whole community where they live, where they all live and support each other. So we talked to them. So they had a leader or a kind of a president of, there was a president of that community. So we went there, and I personally went there too when we set up a camp for them. So a lot of transgenders, they came, they explained their problems, and they told us that no one before that came to our community, and no one else before that set up a medical camp or given them a free treatment. But like they were really thankful, and they were expressive. They explained, they told us about their problems and how they were degraded in the society, and how like people, they just ignored them. So yeah, so the doctors, our team of the doctors, they went over there. So free medicines were provided to them, and then the tests were the blood tests were conducted over there also. So in which the hepatitis B and C was there, because that was the one which was uh, yeah, required, and then the HIV also. So we did that also over there. And the cases, the hepatitis C cases were diagnosed, and they were given the treatment. And hepatitis B cases were actually, they were not the cases, actually we also vaccinated them. So hepatitis B vaccination is available. And the ones who required surgery, so we further registered them with us, and then the surgeries were done. So
Wow,
so
it's amazing.
yeah, so
Yeah.
that was a medical camp, and that reminded me. Yeah, I'm going to now prepare my notes that we are going to do another medical camp for them soon. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yes. Well, good.
So
Good.
yes, I'm going to
Yeah.
That's
write
great.
a note for
Great.
them. We're talking about the ostracized communities and all that. So yeah, we set up another medical camp, the free medical camp in the jails. Like where the
Mm.
prisoners
Mm.
get. So we set up a medical camp over there also for those people. And
Mm.
we can't say the old homes into, we just, old homes do not fall in that category, but we set up free medical camps for the old homes also. The people
Mm.
over there, they are sick, and then they want another thing. That's what I have noticed, that they want time. They want us to sit with them and talk to them and listen to them. So that's what. Yeah, so
Mm.
that is really interesting.
Mm.
And the prisoners, when we were dealing with the prisoners, so that was another experience. It's like an out of the world experience.
Everything you're sharing is so inspirational. It's the idea just of sort of giving and helping unconditionally. That people are in need, people need help. Those who maybe have the ability to have a more comfortable life also usually have the ability to help. And it's rewarding to do so. It makes you feel good, and like you said, when you see these success stories, and you see, or even things, just something that just that sort of breaks your heart, it gives you the motivation to keep going in spite of challenges. And so, I mean, really, that's everything about your organization is very, very inspirational, and I. Obviously, I hope that your growth is fast, and that you're able to reach those numbers, those goals that you want. But I wonder, as far as what do you see in terms of how your organization has been able to inspire others, or how basically sort of the world at large has responded to what it is that you all are doing? Do you feel like there's been a positive response, or do you feel like you're sort of in the trenches doing hard work, and you don't get the kind of notice that you would like to be able to have?
So, response, if we talk about the response from the world, or
Mm-hmm.
from the different sectors, so people really like our work, and the way I think we are providing the transparency, and the way we are providing, because that's the thing which everyone is worried about, that like, where are you, what are you doing, and what kind of impact are you creating? So that's what we are showing them. So yeah, they appreciate our efforts, they are supportive towards us, but at the same time they get apprehensive also. So they want to see the audit reports, They want to see the financials. They want to see the different kinds of registrations, like with the government. How are you registered, like with the government? Do you have the tax exemption or not? And so all these kind of things. And then they also want to see like who are the people who are supporting us, or who or which organizations, what kind of organizations are supporting us. So actually, these things they are built like with the so we built this credibility over the period of years. Initially, it was really hard to convince people to not not only to convince people to support us, rather it was difficult for the to it was difficult for us to convince poor people that we are conducting free surgeries. They were not even ready to come to us for the surgery.
Right.
They thought we would
Right.
take out their kidneys and
Yes.
would sell that
Yes.
in the market. So so those were the challenges initially. Still, we face those challenges, and I think still we need to do a lot of marketing. A lot of marketing efforts are required uh, because the whole entire world is in front of us, and as many people know what we are doing, so they get more attracted towards us.
Again, it's very inspirational, everything that you're telling us, and I really hope that not only individuals, that are listening to this podcast can be inspired to donate and support your organization, but also I can really see how your organization can inspire other countries, other organizations, other larger entities to say, hey, this is something that needs to be duplicated, that needs to be done all around the world. And I'm sure that's the one of the goals that you all have is to see that kind of compassion and that kind of giving come directly from people, instead of, as is the case with Pakistan, it's not coming from the government. It really relies on the people to do this, which is exactly what you all are doing. Can you share with us maybe something that you've got going on right now that really brings you a lot of excitement, a lot of energy that you're currently working on that you can share with us?
Currently, actually, we have a big project of the cochlear implant cases. So there are 2,000 cases which are registered with us, and we are looking forward to conduct their surgeries because there is a time limit, and we want to get the surgeries done in that time limit, because if the child is more than 5 years old, so then the cochlear implant surgery is of no use. So we are into other things, cochlear implant and bone marrow. So these are the two surgeries on which we are focusing right now. And yeah, because bone marrow, again, if it's a very expensive surgery, it's like around $10,000 or so, yeah, in US dollars. And same, yeah, $6,000 or $7,000 is for the cochlear implant surgeries. So these are such expensive surgeries that a mediocre middle class person, or sometimes upper middle class person even, they cannot afford. So yeah, we are really excited to get as many cases done as we can of the cochlear implant surgeries and the bone marrow cases. And then there's another one, like we are just in the process of buying a mobile health unit also. So yeah, because right now we have to hire the cars, the big cars or the vans, to take them to the different areas for setting up the medical camps. But like the mobile health unit is a real big thing, and we want to set up an urgent care center in that mobile health unit for the people. So everything is like sanitized and properly secured. So that's another. So like these are the main projects, and I'm really looking forward towards these projects.
Well, thank you so much for being with us today. And for those of you who are listening, please go to transparenthands.org. They're also on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram if you want to go and check them out. But please go to their website and check out all the different camps and consider donating or sharing with a friend. This has been absolutely inspirational. I am blown away. I feel like we could talk for many, many hours about this.
Absolutely, yes.
We might have to revisit this conversation again, having you on the podcast, because oh my gosh, just amazing. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you for the Transparent Hands and your crew and your family. Yes. And I have a very last question here. Is your mother still around?
Yeah, she's.
That's got to be absolutely awesome for her to see her kids doing this.
Yes. Yeah. So she is really happy that we are like taking her legacy forward. We are just following her footsteps. We are trying to do, because she wanted all of us to become a doctor, but no one became a doctor,
Right.
unfortunately.
That's the usual, right? Yeah,
Yeah, so, but we came into the health sector, so that's that. Now she's like a little bit satisfied that at least they are doing something for the community. They are doing something for
Mhm.
the people. Yeah.
Yes, yes. The impact that you're having is probably very inspirational to her as well. Yeah,
Yes,
right.
that is, yes. And
That's
she
great.
on and off, and she guides me, she tells me to do different things in a different way, how to
Mm.
keep the files, how to maintain the files, how to take care of the patients and everything. So like her advice is always there. Whenever I need her advice, it's there.
it's just been an amazing interview, Ramiza, and I'm so glad that your mom started what she did and she has kids who have continued this legacy, because we understand here at Good Viral, Demian and I, and those who listen, that the ripple effects really, really go deep and they go wide. And so it might as well be a good thing that you're doing. And you are
Mhm,
definitely doing
mhm,
a good thing, Ramiza. So thank you so
mhm, mhm.
much for everything that you do.
Yes.
Thank you for listening to the Good Viral podcast and being part of the conversation. If you are inspired by this episode, go to our website at goodviral.org, where you can find resources and listings from the episode to continue good efforts.
Like, comment, and share this episode to any or all of your social media channels. It's really easy to take a small action, and maybe you'll inspire a big result.
When good goes viral, the world gets better.